Okay, Saxon 4 math class, we are ready for lesson 30, subtracting three-digit numbers with regrouping. We're going to warm up a little bit with some mental math. You know, our new trick is to look at a number and think about what it needs to become an easier number to work with. So we look at 36 and think, it needs 4 more to become 40. So let's borrow that 4 from the 8. And that will give us 40 over here, and it leaves 4 over here. So 40 plus 4, 44. Now you take a look at the next two. Think about what 48 needs to become 50. Borrow that from the 6. So you have 50 plus what was left over? 54. Now think about what 47 needs to become 50. Borrow that from the 9. So now you have 50 plus what was left over? 56. Measurement. One of the two identical chairs weighed 13 pounds. How much did the two chairs weigh? Well, that would be 13 plus 13, and that would be 26 pounds. How many inches equal 1 yard? Well, first of all, I like to think of feet and yards, and I know there are 3 feet in a yard. And if I think about my foot ruler, that's got 12 inches on it. It's got 3 rulers. Each ruler has 12 inches, so 3 times 12 is 36 inches. What time was it 4 hours before 6:25 a.m.? Well, you can count backwards 4 hours, or you can look at your hour, and it's 6, and take 4 hours away from that. And so now we know the hour is 2, but the minutes stay the same, 2:25 a.m. Money. Scott received his allowance of $20. If he puts $5 into his savings account, how much will Scott have left over to spend? So 20 take away 5 equals $15. Estimation. The ceiling was 274 centimeters above the floor. Round that measurement to the nearest 10 centimeters. So we have to look at the tens place. Let's see, 274. I'm going to start from scratch here. 274 centimeters, rounding to the nearest 10. So I'm going to underline the tens place. I'm going to circle the digit immediately to the right. That digit tells us what to do to the place that we're rounding to. If it's 5 or greater, it tells us to move up 1. If it's 4 or below, we just stay the same. So our choices are go up or stay the same. And in this case, the 4 tells us this is just going to stay the same. So everything to the left of this 4 stays the same. Now, this digit right here, when we're rounding, pops down as a 0. I don't care if we had, 5 or 6 more places to the right. Everything would have popped down as zeros. Okay? So the final answer is 270 centimeters. Problem solving. How many times does the minute hand move around the face of a clock in 300 minutes? Well, I know the minute hand moves 1 time around in 60 minutes. So what I want to find out is how many groups of 60 minutes can I get out of 300? So the strategy that I would like to use is to just count by 60s, which is a lot like counting by 6s. You see, you just think about the 6 and then tack the 0 on. Okay, so 6, 12, but I have to add on a 0. Then it would be 6 more than 12 would be 18. 6 more than 18 would be 240. And 6 more than 24 would be 30, but I tack on my 0. So this is how many groups of 60 I can get out of 300. This is how many times that it would go around. Okay, so if it went around 60 minutes, that would be 1 time it went around. Then for 120 minutes, we made that when we go around the second time. The third time, we will have made it up to 180 minutes. The fourth time, we would have made it to 240 minutes. And the fifth time, we would make it all the way to 300 minutes. So our final answer is that the minute hand moves around 5 times in 300 minutes. Let's look at example 1. Find the difference. $365 minus $187. Whoops. 365 Gonna double check myself. Yes. Okay, we have everything lined up. We have ones lined up, tens, and hundreds. So we start 5, take away 7. We have a problem. We have to go to the neighbor. The neighbor says, sure, I'll become a 5. And I'll give you a set of 10. So now that you have 15 ones. 15 minus 7, 8. Now we have 5 minus 8. Another problem. So this 5 needs some help. He goes to the next door neighbor. This neighbor becomes a 2 and says, sure, I'll help you out. This becomes 15 tens. So 15 take away 8, 7. And 2 minus 1 is 1. And I can't forget my dollar sign. $178 is the difference. They're just showing all those steps, and we concur. We agree. Example 2. Before she spent $1.12, Olivia had $4.10. What amount of money does Olivia have now? Okay, so she's spending money. We have to write down what she started off with, which is $4.10. I'll do that in a different color. $4.10 minus she spent $1.12. And I have to line up my decimal points and my places. So here we have 0 take away 2. Well, we can't do that. If you have nothing, you cannot take 2 away from that. So we go to the next door neighbor. And the 1, he gives up everything he has. He becomes a 0. So that Mr. 0 can become 10. 10 minus 2 is 8. Now we're looking at Mr. 0 here. 0 minus 1. Well, if you have nothing, you can't take 1 from it. So he goes to his next door neighbor. And 4 says, sure, I'll help you. I'll become a 3. And you may become a 10. 10 minus 1 is 9. Stop, drop, and put your decimal point. 3 minus 1 is 2. And dollar sign. $2.98. Example 3. During a special 15% off sale at a sporting goods store, the price of a $9.49 baseball cap will be reduced by $1.42. What is a reasonable estimate of the price of the cap? Okay, so if I look at the $9.49, I'm thinking, man, that's awfully close to $9.50 because sometimes we do round off to the nearest, quarter. So we're going to think of that as $9.50. Do that in a different color. And it's going to be reduced. That's what's so cool about sales is you get some money off. And it says $1.42. And we could just say that's really close to $1.50. But in this case, I think I'm just going to say it's close to $1.40. That's a more accurate number. And therefore, I'll get a more accurate estimate. 0 minus 0, 0. 5 minus 4, 1. And 9 minus 1, 8. So $8.10 is about what the sale price will be. Let's see if they agree with us. They rounded it to $1.50. So they said about $8. Okay. Let's look at lesson practice. 365 minus 287. And I do believe we were talking about money. Let me double check. Yes, we were. So I have to put my dollar sign in there. Okay, 5 minus 7. Well, we can't do that. So we're having a lot of practice borrowing today. We go to the neighbor and borrow, and 6 becomes 5. And now 5 in the ones is 15 ones. Okay, 15 minus 7, 8. 5 minus 8. No can do. So we look to the next door neighbor for help. 3 becomes a 2. 5 becomes 15. 15 minus 8, 7. Getting a lot of practice with that fact family on this problem. The 7, the 8, and the 15. And 2 minus 2, 0. I do not have to put the 0 in the front. Final answer, $78. Now $4.30 minus $1.18. Here we go. 0 minus 8. Can't do it. Let's do some borrowing. 10 minus 8. 2. 2 minus 1. 1. Stop, drop, decimal point, 4 minus 1, 3, dollar sign. 563 minus 356. 3 minus 6. Can't do it. Let's borrow. 13 minus 6, 7. 5 minus 5, 0. 5 minus 3, 2. And it was not money, so I leave it at 207. D, 240 minus 65. This one I'm going to be curious. If you guys were doing this on your own, I want to see if you keep everything lined up correctly. So 240 minus 65. Watch this. 6 is in the tens place, 5 is in the ones. Beautifully lined up. That's what I expect to see on your work also. 0 minus 5. Let's borrow. 4 becomes a 3. Now we have 10 minus 5. 5. 3 minus 6. Can't do it. Let's borrow. 13 minus 6. 7 and 1. Take away nothing because no number in a space means a 0. 175. 459 minus 176. 9 minus 6. 5 minus 7. Can't do it. 15 minus 7. I hope you're trying to guess these answers before I write them down. That will make your brain get smarter. 3 minus 1. 2. Final answer. 283. 157 minus 98. You know what? This one's a good one to do mentally because the 98 is just 2 away from 100. So what we're going to do is go ahead and take 100 away. And since we really weren't taking away 100, we're going to get to add 2 back onto that. Okay? So 100 taken away from 157 just leaves 57. But if we add 2 more back onto that, we have 59. So that's a little mental math trick. LaRae entered the store with $8.24 and bought a gallon of milk for $2.27. That's a reminder, I need to buy milk today. Okay. What is a reasonable estimate of how much money LaRae has now? Explain. All right, $8.24, that's really close to rounding off to quarters, so I'll say that I have $8.25, or LaRae has that. And the milk, hey, that's really close to $2.25. So 25 minus 25, that's going to leave me with 0. And $8 minus $2, that leaves me with about 6. So I'm going to say $6 is my estimate. And we agreed. Now it's time to go back and check written practice for 29. Hit pause while you check 1 through 6. Hit pause while you check 7 through 14. Hit pause while you check 15 through 28. And you're finished after you check 29 and 30.